on to round 38, and this is again going to be a repeat of 3 times, so 30 stitches 3 times around. We're going to go and connect the white yarn so we can continue up these guys and let these ones continue spreading out. So by the way, notice when I do this, I end up doing trebles here and double trebles here because I need more yarn. So just watch that. You may end up doing 2 different stitches as you go along. So we want to join, look for one of your pairs of lavender, and we want the 5th stitch before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. I'll join in that one. And now I'm going to do 4 to come back. So that was 1. This is 2, 3, and 4. And what I want is to have my next stitch be the one in front of these, because I want to put 1 white front post here and 1 white front post after them. So 2 yarn overs has worked for me here. So this is just a front post treble. Go ahead, grab the one below. 1, 2, 3, finish out the stitch. Skip this one. Now 2 single crochet to get over to the other side. Here, this leaves me with the one free after the lavender one. So 1, 2, yarn over twice. Go ahead, go around the white one below and finish out your stitch. So that'll give us the white enclosing the lavender ones there. We need to skip this guy, and it's going to be, let me check my notes, 9 single crochet to get us to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I'm ready to do these ones, and since this is spreading out a little bit more, 2 yarn overs was not enough for me. So I'm going to yarn over 3 times for a front post double treble. Come around this first front post here and finish my stitch. So it's 1, 2, what's that? 3, 4 times. Remember to skip the stitch here, and now 6 single crochet to get to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the tail sort of sticking out there. So now 1, 2, 3, again another double treble. Come just around this front post on this side. No crisscrossing or anything here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That finishes the last of the front post stitches, and you notice these are more narrow than these ones. They're spreading out a little bit more. Now just to finish, to get me in place to start the next repeat, skip this guy and 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now if I had done this right, which is always questionable, it should mean for the next repeat we do 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochet, setting me up for the front post right in front. So it looks like we're good for the count here. And this is your repeat. Remember, it's a longer stretch, but you're only doing it 3 times. So start in the 5th stitch before these lavender ones here. You're gonna have 4 single crochet, followed by a front post treble. 2 yarn over was enough for me, so it may be enough for you. Again, yarn over as many times as you need to make sure your stitches don't pull down or into the work. So front post treble, skip a stitch, 2 single crochet, front post treble, skip a stitch, then 9 single crochet in the middle. followed by here I needed a little bit more yarn, so a front post double treble, skip a stitch, 6 to get to the next one, another front post double treble around this white one down here, skip a stitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish you out. That's it. 3 times to finish it, so 2 more times will bring you around, and then we're going to continue filling in this little bit of these alternating little ovals that we're creating here. So that was round 38. I'll see you for round 39. We're getting closer and closer to the end. This is round 39. We're going to go back to the orange yarn, which we haven't used in a while, so it's nice to have another little pop of that color up here. Again, this is 30 stitches in a repeat 3 times. So we're going to go ahead, find any pair of the white overlay stitches, these front posts, that don't have the purple in between. So this one has purple, the lavender, so we're going to go with this one that doesn't have it, and we're just going to join in the left hand of the 2. So the second one, join, and that counts as our first single crochet. We want 12 for here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So notice the 12th one gets me into that first of these 2. So now we're going to do a puff stitch. I'm going to yarn over 5 times total, or do the pattern 5 times as I go in there, and I want to grab the lower of the 2 black front post stitches. So I should have that front loop here, which of course for some reason now I can't see at all. So we do have 2 rows of black. I'm going to grab that front loop down there. Anything, I mean, you just need to grab one of the front loops here. You could try to go for the white one all the way down, but that's going to be a lot to pull the yarn up, and it's going to take your puff stitch from being sort of a round little bubble and make it this sort of longer football shape. So puff stitch, you're going to yarn over, and that tail is going to bother me, sorry. You're going to yarn over, grab the front loop, drop a loop, and make sure you bring it up nice and tall, all the way back up to where the top of your work is. That's 1. We're going to do that same thing a total of 5 times. So yarn over, drop a loop 2, yarn over, drop a loop 3, yarn over, get that tail out of the way, drop a loop 4, yarn over, draw up a loop 5. Notice it's getting tighter every time. And now yarn over and take it through all the loops on your hook. Do a chain stitch to seal it off. That's your little puff stitch right there. We did two stitches here. We had the puff stitch and the chain after it, but we are only going to skip 1 back here. And now we have a total of 17 single crochet to get to the other side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and my yarn, I need to get some more yarn, sorry. That's 5. I need 17. This one's 10. $15. 16 and 17, and notice my repeat ends so that the next one begins in that front post stitch from the last round. So these ones are a little longer because we're only doing 3 times around, so that's what you have. It is normal for the puff stitches to pull down a little bit. You'll be fine when you do the next round into them. It just sort of pulls these two sides together, so it's okay that they tuck down a little. Don't worry about that. You don't want them tucking down really, really tight. That's why you bring that yarn up, but there you go. So join in the left hand front post here. We're going to have 12 single crochet. That gets you inside this oval. You're going to do your puff stitch, a chain, skip one, only one, and then 17 single crochet should get you to the next repeat. So that's 3 times total, and I'll see you when that's done. All right, round number 40. We're going to go back to the lavender yarn so that we can close up this part of the design. So we're going to start in a left hand of one of these pairs that does not have the filler in it, so the one that doesn't have the puff stitch or anything. And because of that, just to have it work here, I'm actually going to join over here on the side. I have a little too much yarn there, but this is just so that it shows a little bit better on the camera. But remember, you can start on any of them, and this is not a bad one to use. So go ahead, join the yarn. That counts as our first single crochet, and we start with 12 here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember, we're trying to get over to that puff stitch. This is 10. And 12. So I get right over to the puff stitch. This next one's the puff stitch, the one after that's the chain. Now I'm going to do a front post treble 2 together. So I'm going to grab this one on this side and then this one on this side, then pull them together into one stitch. So treble, yarn over twice, grab this one, and we're only going to do the first 2 parts of the stitch. 1, 2, stop with those on the hook, yarn over twice. Now we'll start this side of it. 1, 2, stop with the 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull it through everything. So that's my 2 together, and it should go just right around that puff stitch there. We're going to skip the puff and the chain, and we're going to do our next stitch in the actual single crochet on the other side of those 2. So it's actually right here. It happens to be the one that's above the white front post there. So on this side we need 17 to get us back into position to start the next repeat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. $15, $16, and $17. And you know that the count was right because my next stitch is above this front post, which is where the next repeat needs to begin. So there's the repeat. Again, these ones get long here. We're only doing it 3 times. It's 30 stitches total. You're going to join above this front post stitch here. The first stretch is 12 single crochet. That gets you over here to the puff stitch. do a front post treble, 2 together, grabbing one lavender on this side and the other lavender on that side. Then just make sure when you position it that you get the puff stitch showing up nicely between the two. Skip both the puff stitch and the chain and come in with your next single crochet above the single crochet below. And again, like I said, that's the one that lines up with this white front post here. 17 single crochet, get you back to your starting place. So that's the repeat, 12, the 2 together, skip those 2 things here, and 17 on this side. That's it, round 40. After this, we've only got 5 left to go.